Okay, now it's going. Oh. All right, as you can see right here, I'm kind of pointing to the plug for the overdrive and the lockup. The front wire coming in the front here goes to my overdrive pressure switch. The middle one goes to ignition power, and the back one goes to the lockup pressure switch. So I have that wired in through here, and then I have them kind of taped up, and then I have a couple big wires going over there. I got them different colors so I knew which one was which. And we come over here, and you can see it over here that the pressure switch is here. You can see that this front one right here is for the overdrive. The back one right here is for the lockup. I see I got a little bit of a drip there. I've run the car a little bit. I think one of the threads are just need to be worked. But anyway, that's all fixable. So you can see that I have the wires run to the normally open stud of the pressure switch. Again, this is the overdrive, and that one's the lockup. Then I have the ground terminal going to ground over here. So is what I want to do is test it to see how well it works. So I am going to, what I ended up doing was, see the light blue wire here, that wire, and then I have another light blue one over here connected to where the transmission wire comes from. I have this run into the car, and this, what I'll do is I'll drive it down the street and I'll ground this wire, and my overdrive should turn on. Then I will ground this wire and my lockup should come on. Okay, so then I guess I should back up a little bit. First, you see the blue wires here. That goes into the vehicle, and we're going to use those to switch the lockup and the overdrive. So you pull this off here, and that's where the Allen head is, or Allen screw is in there. What you want to do first when you get switches like this, you want to turn those in. Now you don't want to turn them in until they bottom out. Just turn them in, say 5, 6, 7 turns, something like that. So what you're doing is you're putting pressure on the spring that's in there that will take more pressure than to actuate this switch. So is what you do is you will connect this blue wire here, this light blue one, like I said, going into the cab, and then you will drive down the street and you'll ground that wire, and overdrive should click on. If your overdrive doesn't click on, there's something wrong either with the transmission or with your wiring. Then is what you do, you keep that unhooked and you drive it up to a speed and try to get your overdrive to come in automatically. And that's where that screw comes in at. You will adjust that screw a little bit. You'll adjust it out, 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 which weakens the spring that's in there, which makes the lower pressure to make the switch activate. Then you will just set it, you'll get to a certain mile an hour or RPM, whichever one you're looking at, and you get this thing so it clicks on automatically. And then you do the same thing to the lockup. Not the lockup. You do the same, yeah, that's the lockup. The same thing. You do the same thing to the lockup. You'll drive, it'll click into overdrive automatically for you, and then you adjust the switch here until lockup comes on where you want it to. Then when you're done, you just put the plug back on and you're good to go. And then you can unhook these little blue wires and you're all set. You should be able to feel that overdrive come on. You should feel the lockup come on. The thing of it is, with what I am doing right now, this transmission is a little slushy, so it's not as strong as a fresh built performance transmission. It's just stock out of a truck. It's got, I don't know how many 100,000 miles on it, but so I can drive this thing down the road, like I said, reach underneath here and turn that screw to adjust when the overdrive turns on. So say at 40 miles an hour, 45 miles an hour, whenever you want it to come on, that's what you do. Same with the lockup. And I can take this thing now for a ride and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Let's get this thing started and see. I have wires here. This is the overdrive solenoid, or the pressure. This is the overdrive pressure switch. This you can just ground, and this is the lockup. This is the lockup pressure switch here. So let's get this thing running and see what we can do here. As you can see down here, that's my power cord. I have it just going to the fuse box right now, just all temporary, because I'm going to be going through a vacuum switch that I have down here. But before I go through the vacuum switch, I want to make sure that the overdrive works and the lockup works. So it's going to be noisy in here, and it's maxed out, so let's back this. Okay, hopefully that's better. Let me try this again. This is the overdrive ground that goes to the pressure switch. Actually, this goes it goes to the pressure switch, but this is actually the wire that is connected to the pressure switch that goes to the transmission. And then this is the one for the lockup. So if I ground this, it should activate the solenoid in the transmission, clicking into overdrive. Same with the lockup. So hopefully you're able to hear me okay, because I don't know, maybe it's pretty loud car. So anyway, let's take it for a ride and I'll show you what I'm talking about. There's no insulation or anything in here. There's just one seat, as you can see. I've got the interior to do. I got to take a lot of stuff apart yet, but the first part of this journey on this car is this transmission. Even though it's not rebuilt, I just want to make sure it's going to move on its own, which it does. But I want to finish up this video on how to adjust this transmission. So I'm going to grab the overdrive solenoid we're gonna get going. There's another gear. There's third gear right there. So if I take this, ground it, there's overdrive right there. Take it off. You can kind of hear it went up a little bit in RPM. So that's what I'm looking for. Overdrive. I'm going to go up over this hill and then I'll go overdrive and lock up. I can't do it obviously with one hand, so I'm going to grab them both. Oh, there's out of overdrive. There, see, you hear it, feel it chugging, or you can hear it chugging. It's because it's on lockup and the engine's hardly going. So I've got it's now you can feel it going better because I clicked in lockup way too soon. So, but this is a 410 gear in this car. It is a 30 tall tire, but I'm moving along pretty good. So in order to adjust this, I'm going to pull over, take this off. Actually, I'm going to go up to a different road. That way I know that the overdrive works. See? My lockup's not working yet. The reason is because on the pressure switch on the screw that I'm going to be adjusting, I screwed them in. You got to make sure that you don't screw them in all the way. You just want to turn them in a few turns, because maybe 3, 4, or 5 turns, because you don't want to bottom that out. That'll start wrecking that switch. It's spring-loaded switch, so now I'm going to go down this road here. See, I'm still in lockup, or I'm still in overdrive. Overdrive. So now I'm going to go underneath the car and I'm going to turn that screw. Right now I don't comment on all the rattles and stuff because I know I got a lot of rattles and stuff right now, but there's no insulation, there's nothing on this car. So let's let me stop here and we will adjust it with my, this happens to be a 5mm, and we'll see what we can do. So I'm going to get under the car here and I'm going to adjust this. While I'm under here, I'm going to adjust. I'll adjust the lockup also. All right. That's adjusted. Now that I got all my exhaust fumes taken care of here, well, the carburetor's really fat, so all right. So I made a little bit of a turn on there, and I also did the lockup, and so we'll see what we can do. Now I don't have a tack and I don't have all that stuff hooked up right now, so it's kind of too bad, but I might be able to do my speedometer to give you an idea on what kind of speed we're talking about on how it sounds. So there's second, there's third, there's overdrive. I'm going to run out of room. I'm going to run out of road before I can get lockup, if lockup will work. So I come back out of overdrive because I'm slowing down. So should be in third gear here. I know maybe these rattles just sound terrible in here, but some of that's the lines I just put in because I don't really have them attached. I just have a couple zip ties and that's it, so nothing's really fastened. The muffler is about that high off the ground because I don't have a choice right now. I had to put some sort of muffler on it, and the car is kind of low slung, so country roads are definitely terrible when it comes to whoop-de-doos and lower cars, but oh, I think I just lost the muffler. Okay, I'm going to try this. Oh, we're not even there yet, are we? There we go. Alright, I know it's kind of quiet here, but when I start the car up, it'll get loud. So, here we go. I don't even know if you can hear me really over that. But what I'm also going to do is I'm going to put on an app that is my speedometer. So I'll be able to tell how fast I'm going and what gears. You can tell this thing really needs a stall. This is just the factory converter for the 95 Ram. That's all it is. I didn't do anything with the strands. We'll close the door. Okay, so here we go. so that's quieter. I made an adjustment again since it was up on the lift. I made an adjustment to the lockup. Transmission's a little sloppy, but that's okay. I might make a couple adjustments to it. I might put a shift in it. I don't really know. I'm not sure when I'm going to rebuild it.